Hi everyone, meteorologist Ed Valley here, taking a look at South America, our weekly video here for you on Monday, February 7th. And we're starting looking here at precipitation over the last 30 days to kind of set the table for this discussion. And we're starting here looking at the 30-day period from January 6th to February 5th. This data does unfortunately lag a little bit, so it's a day behind. And I will note there was some pretty significant rain this weekend in Paraguay and northeastern Argentina. So I anticipate these maps to look a little better as this wetter weekend is added to the maps over the coming days. Now, notice that Argentina's actually been pretty wet over the last 30 days. Now, we know that this occurred mostly between the 15th and the 30th of the month, and we've started to dry things out now into the weekend. But more importantly, before that, it was hot and dry, right? We remember that very hot and dry period. And then that heat actually lingered in parts of Paraguay and far northeastern Argentina beyond how long it lasted in central Argentina. So it's been a tough go of it in Paraguay, northeastern Argentina. And we look at the amounts compared to normal. You can see that area that really has struggled, northeastern Argentina and Paraguay. But you notice Brazil is hit or miss. Now, this is likely a little bit more ominous than the situation actually is, especially in central Brazil. But southern Brazil has been on the drier side. And you look at the last 15 days, you can see there has been some rain in Paraná and parts of Mato Grosso do Sul. But it's been actually, compared to normal, still a little too dry, especially in western Mato Grosso do Sul and central and southern Paraná. And then you notice the Rio Grande do Sul and northeastern Argentina dryness as well. So we're still dealing with quite a few areas that have struggled. And as we press forward here, we're going to continue to watch Argentina and southern Brazil trend drier as we head towards the middle and potentially even the end of February here. So that's where we're going to focus our energy here today. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to reach out via email, or if you have the option via phone, and we're happy to help. So let's talk about this, and we're going to go right through this week. And I want you to kind of focus where this rainfall is. And if you can tell, obviously you see down here in southwestern Argentina, mostly San Luis, La Pampa, parts of western Buenos Aires, there could be some thunderstorm activity Thursday, Friday. So it's not you're not going to get shut out in Argentina. However, most of the rain, as clear as day, is found up in central Brazil. You got this flow coming right on in. That's a favorable look for Mato Grosso, Goiás, and northern Mato Grosso do Sul. And the issue is how far south does this moisture get? Right now, it appears that central and southern Paraná, southern Mato Grosso do Sul, and then a lot of eastern Argentina and Rio Grande do Sul and Uruguay and central and southern Paraguay are going to miss a lot of these rains, it looks like. That's the area I'm most concerned about moving forward. But you could even lump a lot of Argentina into that as well. So let's take a look here through the weekend of total precipitation. I'm going to just take this right through Sunday, about 6 days from now, and you'll see that local minimum, like we've been talking about, central southern Mato Grosso do Sul, the rest of southern Brazil, and most of Argentina here, and the focus of rain well back to the north. Okay. Now, if we look at the European model, we like to look at all these models for consistency, of course, and it's pretty similar. The focus of rain, far northeastern Mato Grosso do Sul, Goiás, Mato Grosso, great. However, look at down south here. Much drier than preferred. I know folks still need to plant safrina. I know hopefully the weekend rain was enough in Mato Grosso do Sul to do that, but if not, I think the next week or so is going to be hard pressed to find moisture in central and southern areas. And you see back in Argentina struggling as well. But again, some spotty moisture. But when you compare this 7-day period to normal, you can see what I'm talking about. A lot of dryness. We average a lot of rain this time of the year in Mato Grosso do Sul, 1 to 2 inches a week. And you see the differences here. Again, closer to normal back west, but a lot of area here below normal. And the other concern here is going to be the warmth that's going to be building as we head into the middle of the month. Now, this is just one model, but even as early as late this week, you can see 90s showing up in northern Argentina. And if we press forward into the following periods here, you notice it's really not too bad into the weekend. But as we head into next week, starting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You notice these temperatures in the 6 to 10 day above 30 Celsius in a lot of spots. That's upper 80s to middle 90s. This is nothing like the middle of January heat, but still, we're seeing some signs here that this could linger as we head into the longer time frame here. And you look at the 10 to 15 day, that's the 16th through the 21st of February, you notice a pretty stout signal for warmth in Argentina. And if you look at the other data, it agrees. The GFS ensemble is just as warm. And then just for a third party, you look at the Canadian, it's also just as warm. So I think this is something we're going to be dealing with for a significant amount of time. And, folks have been asking me, when are we going to see rainfall return? And I can tell you that the phase 3 that we're going to be in for the MJO is not supportive of heavy rain at all in Argentina or southern Brazil. And I wanted to just show you something here related to the precipitation. You see here that we're seeing a lot of dryness in the 5 to 10 day. Look at as we press into the 8 to 13, 9 to 14, and then 10 to 15. You see how the dryness is starting to break up a little bit on the European ensemble? That's probably due to a phase 4 MJO shift. But you notice the GFS ensemble is actually a lot wetter. It's dry in the 5 to 10, but it trends wetter in the 10 to 15. I think this is overdone a little bit on the GFS here. But I do believe the back, week or so, 5 to 7 days of February, I would not be shocked at all to see some moisture return to parts of Argentina. And you might say, well, Ed, why do you think that? Well, first of all, analyzing La Nina. We are still in La Nina. We're going to stay that way for a little while longer. Analyzing the MJO, we're going into phase 3 and then phase 4. Okay, here's phase 3. Notice the drier look in Argentina. But look at phase 4. You see that? Phase 3, phase 4. A lot wetter in phase 4. So here, there is, I think, a risk. Maybe it's not enough to erase the deficits we build, but I think just from a fundamental baseline, I think we could trend at least a little bit wetter towards the back couple days of February. And again, my job is not just to regurgitate the models to you. It's for me to try to explain what could change in the forecast. And this is what we're seeing could change. Now, I don't think that's going to change the heat aspect of this forecast. And as you can see, it is quite extensive. So even if we do get this moisture, we have to be wary of the potential of heat continuing. Okay. So that's the main focus we're going to have over the next 15 to 20 days. Beyond that, looking at the new European data, this is the MJ. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but you see this upward motion in phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. And generally speaking, phase 5 goes back a little drier in Argentina. So when we look at the European weekly, we notice that it continues this dry risk in Argentina right into early March. And really right through the month of March. Now, I think there will be wetter interludes at times, but you also notice that it keeps some of that warmth around as well. So La Nina is definitely going to be, leaving a footprint on this pattern in South America for the foreseeable future. We'll have much more throughout the week via reports. And if you get our audio, or if you get our client briefings and you have calls with us, you'll get plenty there as well. And if you have questions, again, reach out. We're happy to help, and we'll talk to you soon.